Discipline has not worked for you, and here's why. You're treating discipline like it's something special, like it's an inherent quality of the human soul, and something you search for in yourself instead of making. It's not just you. Most people talk about discipline like it's a damn conqueror's hockey, and not just a skill to be developed. So, you want to know specifically why discipline doesn't work for you? Let me answer that question with another question. If you couldn't lift 100 pounds, it wouldn't matter how many people gave you advice, how inspired someone made you feel, or how good you're feeling today. You're not going to start moving that 100 pounds without starting smaller. So why do we treat discipline any different? Why do we think that maintaining a full-time job, social life, exercise routine, and side hustle is something you can just jump into? Most importantly, what can we do about this? I'll answer these questions and then some shortly, but first I'm asking of you, the viewer, to like this video, tell me what you think about the topic in the comments below, and at the end of it all, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button. This video isn't the McRib of my channel, good content is here to stay. Now then, let's start off part 1 of the yap session, my answer. Normally for most people, it would make sense to put their thoughts or theory first, but I don't like blueballing my viewers, so we're just getting straight into the specific steps for what can help you build discipline. First thing to do is to stop taking discipline personally. In my opinion, 99% of this life is just plain and simple repeated habit. You'll never gain a single positive thing by taking everything you fail at as a personal insult. Seeing things as just something you have or haven't practiced makes it much less frustrating when you inevitably struggle with it. Bad at piano? You just haven't practiced it enough. Jokes aren't landing? You just don't have enough experience yet. There's no single good reason to beat yourself up every time you fail. At best, you're hurting yourself for absolutely no reason, which isn't helping you meet your goals. At worst, you'll get temporarily motivated to do more, typically to something stupid that will hurt you, and then you will burn out even harder. Don't believe the quasi-masochistic advice that some men give about being disciplined. They probably moan when they stub their toe. So that's step 1. Don't take it personally. If you mess up, just move on. Step 2 is even more humbling. Accept where you're at right now. So you listen to me real good, but down the TikTok, I'm having a heart-to-heart with you right now. There are no number of problems or failures that will make you any less of a valid person. Depression, anxiety, poverty, abuse, heartbreak, loss. Literally anything hurting you is valid to be hurt by. Either you are against something that's meant to hurt you, or you're against something that isn't supposed to hurt you, but you aren't ready to face it yet. Being hurt hurts, and that's valid. Keep that in mind because now we have to be self-critical. If you want to have clean teeth and you haven't brushed them in weeks, that's not good. If you want to grow some muscle, but doing 5 push-ups sends you into a spiral that lasts 2 days, that's also not good. If you can't bother to reach for anything you want besides your basic needs and vices, that needs to change. It's okay that you got here, but we can't stay here. Now for developing discipline, you're going to need to look at where you are right now and be honest with yourself about what a comfortable amount of effort you can put in towards making change is. For people with good discipline, it can be hours of exercise, study, arts, and social plans daily. For people who struggle with discipline, like yours truly years prior, sometimes just the beginning steps of all those activities can be your limit. It doesn't really matter where you start with, though. The process for developing discipline is going to be the same. No matter what your time limit is, you're going to have to practice acting upon your goals, which is step 3. So, if you can comfortably do, let's say, 1 Duolingo lesson per day, your goal shouldn't be to do more Duolingo lessons per day. My recommendation, and what worked for me, was doing just what I was comfortable with, the 1 lesson per day in this metaphor, but specifically focusing on acting on my thoughts. Sometimes I would think of a command before I do the Duolingo. Sometimes I would verbally tell myself to do the Duolingo. And sometimes I would even write down the command to do the Duolingo before I did it. The benefit of putting more focus on the command to act instead of just adding more work to the workload is that you'll be developing your discipline more than you're developing the action. It's like the difference between focusing on your brushstrokes as opposed to just doing more brushstrokes to develop your painting skills. This type of mindset can also apply to you if you are at rock bottom. If you can only bring yourself to eat, drink, sleep, and abuse vice, you can also practice discipline while you do those. Focus on commanding yourself to do those things, verbally as much as possible, writing down the command if you can. You might not make progress on individual good habits, but you can still develop good discipline for the things you already do, which can later be turned towards good habits. After it becomes easy to act on what you tell yourself to do, the last step is progressive overload. Start using your developing discipline to tell yourself to work harder things. Not too much at first. Baby steps at a time. It's important to be patient with yourself because it doesn't really matter how much you want to do better now. Anything good takes time and effort. So keep that in mind and be patient. That's all for my method in developing discipline. Quit beating yourself up, understand what a comfortable workload is for you, and focus on acting on your thoughts, not specifically on increasing the workload. That's the end of specific advice for this video. From here, I've just got a few more thoughts to yap about. If you just wanted the advice and don't want to hear this old fart's thoughts, perfectly fine. Hit the subscribe button and the bell to keep up with my content, and have a nice day. If you're still here, then strap in for part 2 of the video. My various and scattered thoughts on discipline. Let's start off with what I was asking at the beginning of the video. Why is the current societal attitude of discipline so personal? I'm sure you've seen clips of people, or even met in person, people whose entire evaluation of a person is dependent on whether or not they have their entire life together, which is so harmful for so many reasons. But why is this a common attitude? My personal theory is that this attitude is in small ways embedded within all of us, mainly due to a perception of what made our successes in life. Very few people have lived their entire life with good discipline and are fully aware of the conditions of what made them such good workers. I think that for most people, there is success found sporadically throughout their life, dedicated to hard work, surely, but successes that may have lacked a lot of the barriers that they currently face now. So, from this, people can develop a sense of having lost a good quality of themselves, when really what happened is the addition of negative barriers to the life that caused them to falter. This is what I think leads to discipline being held on such a high pedestal and what gets people so emotional regarding acknowledging their discipline. Speaking more about the barriers of life though, there is something about discipline that I think is often overlooked. And that's that being able to work more on your goals isn't going to make things easier for you. Discipline is a good habit for completing goals, but this life isn't just about completing goals. There's still how your physical environment treats you, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, and your relationships. None of those things budge just because you are better at reaching your goals. In fact, in my experience, they get worse. Now that you can dedicate more time to working, you're going to be more stressed and have less time for, essentially, being a human and enjoying life. Both of which can exacerbate some of the problems I've previously stated. This life isn't just discipline, but nowadays, in the world we live in, especially with capitalist economics, especially for being a man, it's not just about living a joyful life, but also about pushing yourself. It should be about enjoying life, by all means it should, but as of right now, it's not. And for the people who are in a position where there's no one else to help them find a joyful life, and bills are due, and there aren't any other options besides doing the hard work instead of enjoying the life you live, that's who needs discipline the most. As a final thought, let's talk for a second about a joyful life and what it entails. I think that the happiest and most productive person, even more productive than people with good work ethics or developed discipline, would be people who are living that joyful life. The people who are best at what they do are the people who enjoy it the most, honestly. If you enjoy something, you'll keep on doing it and keep on forming those connections in your brain. And nobody's going to climb the mountain longer and more consistently than the person who likes climbing. As for developing a joyful life in today's world, that's a long struggle. Like, a lifelong struggle. Things like good food, financial security, and especially nowadays, a sense of community is hard to come by. But those are some things that are truly essential for living a joyful life, in my book at least. I think the best guideline for making that life a reality is to follow Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I love Maslow's hierarchy, and it's been the best guide for turning my general sense of something being wrong into something I can point at and reference to. I would love to make a video about Maslow's hierarchy, but I want to see what you all think first. If you made it this far in the video, and you want to see me make a video on Maslow's hierarchy, please put in the comments below, post the triangle. I'm curious how many of you are interested in this triangle like I am. For now though, that's more than enough yapping for you to listen to and for me to speak. If you liked the video, please leave a like and comment, and be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell to not miss any of my future releases. Thank you all so much for listening, and good luck in your journey. Stay tuned.